Hello friends and family, and welcome back to the final day of the 2023 Discraft Ledgestone Open, presented by Merrill. Coverage brought to you by Ace Run Pro. This is your female pro chase card. My name is Holyn Handley.
And they call me Sayananda.
The ladies are at the Northwoods Black short layout today after playing Sunset Hills 2 days in a row. The top 24 women and above got to move forward to today's round, having the final day here at Northwoods Black. Some players feeling like they want to get a bit of revenge after we played it on Thursday.
This is a very challenging course. You know, the top 24% have made it, and everyone's vying for position. We've got Holyn Handley, third and parked at 13%, which is awesome. Second off the tee, we've got Sarah Hokom, 7th in birdies at 30% and first in scramble at 50%.
Next up, Hanna Huynh from Sayananda's area, actually, sitting in second at fairways. Rounding out the card, Stacie Rawnsley, 5th in birdies and 6th in C1 putting. Starting off hole 1, a downhill par 3, 455 feet out of bounds on the left side, all the way down to the green. A lot of players will just pull their shot over to the right, feeling a bit scared of the left side off the tee. More aggressive players will go with a fairway or a driver, trying to push max distance. I see a lot of people feeling a bit conservative on hole 1 will opt for a mid or a putter just to land in the middle and play the hole for par.
And this is a very tricky hole.
Holyn Handley.
Playing for par is definitely a wise strategy right off the bat. Definitely don't want to start the hole with, any funny business, if you can help it. Ooh, that's a gnarly kick for Holyn. And out of bounds.
Next from Caldwell, Idaho, 2012 World Champion, 2012 Ledgestone Champion, Sarah Hokom.
2012 Ledgestone Champion.
Sarah Hokom has such great technicality and finesse.
Sarah Hokom is one of our top woods players in our division. She's in the fairway.
Just outside of circle 1, maybe 70 to 80 feet. Fun fact, Hanna and I actually grew up in Spokane Valley, a similar town, and before we both came on tour, we were playing tournaments together pretty regularly.
Huynh hits the same tree as Holyn Handley, and she's also out of bounds on the left side.
That's going to be tricky. Of course, the aforementioned funny business I was talking about.
Rawnsley's shot is a bit high, but it's turning over nicely.
Oh, good disc.
What a great angle.
That took her speed perfectly and turned over just enough, putting her well and deep into circle 2.
Yeah, man, she's looking at birdie here on the first hole. And Holyn Handley checking out her lie after going out of bounds.
I mean, with Stacie's birdie look and 2 players out of... Wow. Holyn opting to go for a re-tee. That must have been pretty gnarly back there.
So now Holland's throwing 3 off of T1.
Changing up the game plan and throwing a forehand instead of her initial backhand.
Teasing that OB again.
Tricky, but it looks like it stayed in bounds and she's safe for an approach. Hanna opting to do it on her own terms, laying up and seeing if she can make the par on her own instead of maybe risking that double more so with the re-tee. Definitely no stranger to these tight wooded approach shots with the courses we're used to playing at home. And she laces it right in the target.
Hanna Huynh has one of the best standstill games that I have seen in the FPO division, and I've been playing for about 11 years, so that says a lot.
Holyn doing a little bit of skippy business, but maybe 22 feet. Nothing she's too scared of.
Skippy business. Hokom's smooth upshot will put her in par position.
And now we're getting to Stacie's great tee shot with a birdie look here.
It's
Ooh.
finally Stacie's turn.
Yeah. Looks like she aired it nice and high and right, but didn't quite make the connection. Awesome to have the opportunity. Ooh, that was a good double bogey save. It's hard to say that, but it was.
Hokom's in for par.
Pretty much what you're looking for off of hole 1. Just get the round started.
Win with a bit of a tough start, just like Holyn Handley. She will settle for a double bogey here on hole 1.
Different game plan, but still ended up with the same score. That's going to be a tough start here on Northwood. All right, 2 doubles and 2 pars.
Welcome to Northwoods.
Yes, welcome to Northwoods. Don't get shaken. We are looking at hole 2. This is going to be a par 4 at 505 feet. This is a massive left to right. You don't want to get too greedy off of your tee shot and get some good position to aim you down this corridor. The basket is at the end of the corridor. We've got a little bit of wood chips here and a little bit of that grass, but anywhere else, if you find that dirt, is very fast and skippy. So a touchy approach is essential here.
Hokom up first, pushing into that corner a bit, and she gets caught up. She's knocked down well short of the intended landing area. From there, she will probably have to settle for par.
Stacie with the backhand. I'm liking this. This has good forward push, and it doesn't anhyzer too much. I think right next to that little sunny spot is ideal positioning.
Yeah, I love where Stacie's shot landed.
I think it can be easy to go for too much off the tee and either accidentally anhyzer onto the right side or potentially even go long, which is not fun.
Holyn Handley gets caught up in the same set of trees that Hokom does and lands a bit short of the landing zone.
That's going to be tricky because they haven't even approached wrapping the corner yet, so par at best.
And from here, Hokom's just looking to get as far as she can down the fairway, while staying in the fairway, hopefully.
Ooh, just a little bit off the side there. In their intermediate fairway, I believe they're calling it. Hanna pulling it, maybe? Just a little bit on the left side there. But that shouldn't be too bad. She should still have a line looking at the basket. Holyn on her second shot here. That needs to keep moving right. Oh my gosh.
I love the
Well
height
done.
on that.
Yes, she put the perfect amount of spin to where it got turning late in the flight, but then hyzered out perfectly as it skittled up to the basket. That's looking a little bit... Ooh, keep going straight. All right, just outside the circle for Stacie. She was pushing that left side of the fairway, but she'll have a look for 3 on that one.
Sarah Hokom trying to get up to the basket, get herself a par putt.
Very important approach shot here. Ooh.
She's done it.
She got lucky with that little bit of a tree hit, and she's inside the circle. Not a gimme, but she's got the opportunity.
Hanna Huynh demonstrating that standstill skill again.
Smooth, accurate patent pending puts Hanna inside the circle.
Rawnsley with a little jumper. She'll have a drop-in par. Well played from Rawnsley here on hole 2.
Ooh, that was a good opportunity for Hanna there. Dead center.
Nice,
Ooh.
gentle putt out of Sarah Hokom, and she has scrambled her way to a par.
That was a nice straddle putt. Very well done and landed in the chains perfectly. Sometimes it's hard to get your accuracy with those straddles. Holyn taking the birdie. Well done. No shot was absolutely perfect, but added up to a great score. Stacie with the par.
Hanna Huynh with a bogey. Clean starts for Sarah Hokom and Stacie Rawnsley.
And a nice bounce back for Holyn. Good birdie for her.
Here we are on hole 3, one of the most enjoyable tee shots, in my opinion, on the course, a par 4, 453 feet. Forehand players will have an advantage here, and if you have a nice, juicy turnover in your backhand arsenal, that would be favorable. Your upshot would leave you about a couple hundred feet, sneaking up into the circle, getting a look at a birdie 3.
It really is a beautiful tee shot. This hole is tricky from start to finish.
A bit sawed off from Holyn. She gets caught up early over on the right side, and that could be a tough birdie. Hokom does a good job of hitting the main fairway. And you can see the tree with flags around that actually fell down yesterday in the storm. So they're giving players casual relief if you land in that area. Free casual relief.
Stacie opting for a forehand, almost getting caught up in that tree Sarah was near, but she got a nice little roll beyond it. Oh, that looked like it was turning, that was about to turn over so well, and Hanna just gets unlucky and gets knocked pretty far left off of the fairway here. Making her way through the woods, try and find her lie here.
And she's pitched back to the fairway. She wasn't really worried about getting as far as possible, just getting back to a good position.
Position is so important with how narrow these fairways can be.
You can see Holyn was a little pinched off on the right side, but weaves through those trees, and hopefully she didn't scoot too far down the cliff there.
Yeah, she was in a jail cell there with the trees in front of her. To get forward progress was fantastic, but definitely not awesome being on the left side there. Hanna connecting with another tree.
Sarah pulls her shot a bit to the left, sneaks through some leaves,
so lucky.
and she's on the edge of the fairway.
There was an elf in the bush over there that just tossed that disc right out. I like the shot Stacie's lining up here. There's a nice little corridor. It's tricky with the trees to the left, but it gives you a really straight shot look at the basket. And it looks like she skidded up into the green nicely for a putt. Hanna, similar but more of an Anheuser play, misses that first tree.
Going over there to where Stacie is, and it looks like they'll have about the same putt.
Very, very similar.
Holyn luckily did not slide all the way down that cliff.
Nope, just in the intermediate fairway, and she lands it just inside the circle for a putt. We'll see if that tree's in her way, but it didn't look like it would be. Sarah with a big bid here. Ooh, great angle on that one.
Perfect shape.
Just a little shy on that distance. I love the run, though.
Hanna with a trick putt. Oh, front of the cage.
Tricky, tricky.
Spider webs all up in there.
Stacie a little bit more vertically inclined. Oh, and she's opting for the turbo putt as well. Let's see if she can make this one happen.
Little nose down, but she's got to drop in.
Oh, just tickling the right side of those chains. It had the height and the tempo, just a little bit on the right side there.
Holyn will have to take a bogey here on hole 3. Drop in par for Stacie Rawnsley. Hanna Huynh with a double bogey. Hate to see it. That's 2 double bogeys for her here on the start.
She's really enjoying the trees, enjoying the scenery, enjoying the foliage.
Hokom and Rawnsley currently at even for the round.
Which is a really great start. That's the pace you kind of want to move to. Moving on, we're going to look at hole 4 here. We got a par 4 at 520 feet. There's a lot of trees in the fairway here that make the tee shot seem a little bit more complicated than it is, but really it's a nice full distance flex shot to get you good position. And then things get complicated. As we're looking at this approach, we've got the bridge, we've got the logs, and we've got these 3 distinct trees in front of the green. If you can make it onto the green, it's wide open and flat.
Sarah Hokom up first.
Oh, opting to flex a forehand instead of a backhand that I mentioned, and getting beautiful position from it. I think she'll be liking that one, moving on to her second shot.
Stacie taking a bit more of a direct route and hitting that main tree you really want to work around.
If you can make it past that tree, you're really just going to be hyzering into a wide open safe position.
Holyn taking a similar route to Stacie, sneaks past that tree, just shaving the bark, and she trickles over the edge.
Just a little bit.
A wee bit.
If she were on the right side of that tree, it would have been absolutely perfect positioning. Ooh, Hanna weaving through the trees here.
Right at the spotter.
Looks like she's caught up a little bit early, but par's not out of the question.
And this shot shape is actually one of Stacie's specialties.
It's such a beautiful shape to watch. That long, cresting Anheuser forehand.
And Hanna Huynh doesn't like the look of where she's at, so she pitches out just a 40-foot shot to put her back in a better position.
It's very wise. This course does not seem to like any kind of greedy plays. This course does not like any hubris whatsoever. You pitch out.
Sarah Hokom sneaks her up shot on the green, and she is looking at a birdie.
Hanna approaching for that pitch out. Oh, she was definitely looking to put that one under the pin. Looks like she'll be putting from just outside the circle in the bushes.
Rawnsley looking to throw it in, sends it a bit deep of the basket.
She had that forehand on a great angle. I don't even know if the basket could have handled that throw in. Holyn with like a surgeon with that approach disc. Puts herself nearly into the target.
And Huynh with another tricky putt. Touches the cage once again.
That's a great connection. I love to see her fighting. You know, this round has not gone well for her, or has not, gone in her favor, but she's still running every single putt and approaching each shot with determination, and I love to see that.
Sometimes even if you don't make the putt, it sort of makes you feel good just to get a taste of the metal. Like, at least I know I'm kind of aiming properly.
Precisely. Very well said.
Just a little correction and it'll be in. Stacie gives it a bid for birdie. She'll have a drop in par instead.
She touched one chain link but didn't quite make the connection.
Hokom's gentle putt dying right in the cage. She'll take home a birdie on the 4th.
And that's nice for Sarah, breaking that par streak for her and getting one on the course. It's very nice early in the round. Holyn doing the same, bouncing back from that bogey. Very nice.
That birdie will put Sarah Hokom under par. Stacie Rawnsley will have to settle for a bogey here.
Hanna tapping in her bogey as well.
Hanna with a bit of a rough start, and let's hope she can settle into the round and clean it up here on the next couple of holes.
Hold tough and wait for that storm to clear is all. There's plenty of good strokes to be had out there.
Here we are on hole 5, a 451-foot par 4. The tee shot is extremely important. You need to be all about positioning. Go over these logs just around this giant tree here on the corner, about here. The That'll open you up for a forehand or a nice turnover shot. Give yourself a look at birdie. If you land out of position, you're probably going to be scrambling for par. We've seen some success of players cutting through that inside corner.
Oh, that's cheeky.
Let's see what Sarah Hokom has, and that's looking a little early left, a little early, and she sneaks to the edge.
Oh, she gets out of there just on the corner of that rough there. With her forehand, she's definitely going to have an opportunity there. Holyn opting for a standstill off the tee. We know she's got great distance, so she's just looking for some accuracy. Oh, and hits that tree. Ends up right by this down long that you really just want to get past by about 30 or 40 feet.
And Rawnsley pulls her shot over to the right. It looks like she might have been throwing a putter, just a lot of speed on a disc that didn't need to go that far.
Yeah, not quite necessary. We'll see how she can recover from that one. Hanna putting a nice low-speed disc right at the corner. We'll
right
see
by
how
that tree.
We'll see if that tree gets in her way there.
And Rawnsley, what a mature decision. No hero shots. She just pitches out 25 feet for a better position. Now she's looking to get around the corner like her tee shot should have done in the first place.
Oh, and connects with another tree. That's frustrating.
You can see her staring it down.
That's tough. When you have an errant shot, you really, really hope that you can just kind of turn it around and, you know, brush over it like it didn't happen. So when you have a second one, that can be tough to recover from.
And from where Holyn was, she could have done something like this, which is very risky, but instead you saw she just did a little putt right to the corner.
And put herself in perfectly fine position. Doesn't look like it went too bad for Stacie, though. Got a touchy little putter shot here.
Love that sneaky window Hanna had.
And it looks like she's got maybe 35-foot look for 3 on that one. Not too bad.
Her caddy looks fun.
At 451 feet, and with this technical of a fairway, it seems like a very difficult hole, but really, you can break it down to about a 210-foot tee shot, and then a fairly technical approach, and it makes it seem a little bit simpler that way.
Ooh, Holyn almost skipping it in.
Holyn, yeah, she just, barely crested the corner. Nothing, crazy impressive.
Stacie's had a bit of a rough go on this hole and hits yet
Her
another
third
tree.
And that can really weigh on you mentally when you're trying to move forward.
Wind gives it a safe bid.
Love to see it, a little 50-footer. You keep running them, they're going to go in eventually.
Rawnsley didn't like it out of the hand, turned around immediately. You can tell she's got some frustration going on. Hokom, however, another gentle putt, and she's got a birdie here on the 5th.
Nice capitalization for her second birdie in a row.
A triple bogey for Stacie Rawnsley after such a good start on 1, 2, 3.
That's going to be tough to digest and bounce back from. We're hoping we'll see some good bounce back from her.
It's going to take a lot of mental fortitude to push through that.
Hanna taking her first par of the round.
I like to see it.
This is a good turn up for her. Her
That's
mentality,
what we're looking for.
Her mentality is looking strong, and now we're seeing the strokes kind of fall into place for her.
Sarah Hokom, currently the only player under par on this scorecard at 2 under.
On the surface, Ledgestone is one of disc golf's leading retailers, but look a little closer and you'll find a group of motivated individuals providing the best possible service to the disc golf community. So whether you're building a bag, wanting to support your favorite pro, or looking to add to your disc golf wardrobe, choose Ledgestone.
All right, guys, welcome back. We are looking at hole 6. This is par 5 at 790 feet. We've got a nice long tee shot here, and you're really hoping to get accuracy and as much distance as possible. because as you're moving through your second and third shots, the hole keeps curling to the left. I would say the fairway is in the shape of a lowercase j. The approach gets more and more technical as you move forward towards the pin.
World champion Sarah Hokom up first here on hole 6, and her shot is leaked over to the right side a bit.
Good distance, but she'll have a few trees to contend with there. Oh yeah, looking forward to Holyn really stretching it out on this one. Give her a long fairway and she'll find it. Oh, that was a very friendly tree kick as she hyzered left onto the fairway, put her right in the middle.
I like the smirk on her caddy's face.
Hanna getting some nice air under her disc as well.
Oh, she's in the middle of the fairway. That's ideal.
And a friendly tree kick for once. I like to see them on her side.
Rawnsley rounding out the card after a triple bogey on the previous hole. The shot's a little high, a little left. The limbs help her out, and that's actually a usable tee shot.
She wasn't loving it, but honestly, if you don't get distance off the tee, it's not as detrimental as being left or right. If you're short, that probably just takes your glorious birdie out of play.
We saw Stacie execute a couple of these forehand turnovers successfully, but this is a much longer version of that. And that one's hyzering out into the woods. You don't really want to be over there. We'll see if she has some type of look towards the fairway.
It does somewhat open up the angle, even though it was an errant shot. She might be looking a little bit more towards the basket, similar to kind of what Sarah has here.
In the rough.
Yes, in the rough. It looks like she's made some forward progress and crested that hill down towards the basket.
Holyn with a spike hyzer attempt to get around the corner.
She was looking for so much more than that. What an anticlimactic plop on the ground. She threw that so high, probably looking for a lot of leftward action to put her down near the pin. And this is what Stacie's looking at. A little bit into the rough here.
And she's not going for anything hero yet again, just more of a middle of the road distance and a good placement.
And sometimes, like we always like to see the birdie bounce back on some holes, but sometimes the par is just fine. Just to follow up the next hole with, nothing crazy feels very good.
And being a par 5, you kind of have that extra stroke just to work your way around if you're not feeling aggressive.
Mm-hmm. Holyn, I think, with the high spike shot that she had, she was looking for the basket. And with that shot, she was also looking for the basket. She gets caught up a little bit short. We're looking at Hanna here with a little bit of a tricky hyzer approach.
Did you see that it was a vine, a hanging?
Yes, it was. It was one of those dead vines.
Sometimes you don't even look at that stuff. You're not even thinking about that.
No, just knocked her out of the air like little cat's paw.
Now, Rawnsley had a bit of an aggressive hyzer angle on her upshot, and she's over there in the rough. With
perhaps a little more aggressive than necessary, but she's really vying for strokes here. Now, this is Holyn from that short approach shot that she had knocked down.
She's on the chips.
Gives it a good run, good tempo. She's not mad. She knows that was a 55 putt or 55-foot putt.
Yeah, if anybody out there, if y'all are throwing fits after missing 50 and 70 footers, you need to chill out.
Yes, check yourself. I think that's the second or third connection with the basket for Hanna. They're not going in, but she is really getting close to putting them together.
Hokom had a birdie bid, but it didn't work out. Rawnsley from the edge of the rough trickles in and saves a par. Incredible. Nice. She just got a triple bogey, so to see her able to bounce back with mental fortitude and play the hole for par, that's impressive.
That was a really good fight. I think that hole was very, very crucial in the movement of the round for her. Excellent par for Sarah. I mean, the fact that Holyn had, 2 errant shots and still made a par, she had really good opportunity there. And Hanna with another par as well, moving in a good direction.
Sarah Hokom still the only player under par on this card.
And currently only player bogey free.
Hole 7, a par 3, 325 feet with 8 different fairways. Personally, I like to aim towards the basket and let the disc move to the right, hopefully hyzer back left and land on those wood chips for a drop-in birdie, which is really easy to do in practice. You do have the main fairway, which is the route the drone has flown, but if you just throw the main fairway, that'll still put you at the circle's edge for a putt. You don't have to actually shape it to get up there and get a birdie look. Hokom up first.
Hitting the quote-unquote biggest gap. Oh, but connecting with the tree there and getting caught up a little early, that shouldn't be too tough of an approach at 325 feet.
This is a very difficult hole for a lot of players. I hear people say they're happy just to get a par here and move on to the next one.
I have heard very contrasting opinions. Players like yourself love this hole. Some people would rather leave it in a hole somewhere. Hanna finding a couple of trees there and ending up a little bit left on the fairway. That might be tricky, but we'll see what she's looking at.
Rawnsley down the main fairway, a bit of a hyzer finish, but you can see she made it a good ways down there, and if she wants to give it a run, she can.
She's got a great skid there to push her up towards the green.
Holyn still has some work to do to get a par. Weaves through the trees, and she's almost skipped that in several times already.
She found a line there that I was not seeing from that perspective. Well done. Hanna with a great gap. This is almost similar to the tee shot, just shorter. Oh. Looks like she's hyzered and is inside the circle for a putt for par.
A good looking smoothie out of her.
Beautiful elevation and control for Sarah's approach. She's looking at a set-in 3.
Rawnsley has a stepper for bird. It's a bit short. A par will do. Hanna Huynh for her 3rd par in a row. Very well done.
Fighting for it.
She has had a rough start, and it's good to see her settle into the round.
All right.
And Rawnsley, it's as if that triple bogey just didn't affect her at all. She's back in business.
Fine order of margaritas for the card here. Sarah Hokom still under par and bogey free, moving through the front 9 very smooth. All right, we are looking at hole 8 at a par 3 and 307 feet. This hole probably gave me the most trouble out of any during practice. There's a lot of trees you can contend with here. We've got 3 main lines. You've got the line that the drone is flying through, which is either a hyzer or a flex shot with something a little bit slower. But to the left, we also have 2 slightly more direct lines that some people play on purpose or not.
Hokom through the inside gap and kicks a bit left, but it's safe over there.
Not too bad.
Shout out to that spotter. I've seen him working all week as a volunteer.
We appreciate them so much. Makes our rounds so much easier.
Holyn has snuck a shot right up into the bullseye. Our first run back.
Let's go. Well deserving. This is the ideal line in my opinion. You push a flex shot nose up through the gap and let it hyzer right into the pin with no fuss. Well executed. Hanna going for that bigger gap, but she misses it to the right.
That was awesome.
Thankfully, it was awesome. Thankfully, she gets a good nudge, and she's down there for a putt.
Sometimes it's more exciting to get a sneaker route than the actual route you intended. And Stacie with a surprise. She's up there looking at birdie.
Where did it finish? I got distracted by the squirrel.
Oh, there must have been a squirrel that was down near the tee that caught her attention. That's too
Saw
funny.
one running up the tree on the left. Stacie loves all things animals.
Birdies and squirrels.
If you ever see Stacie out, you can say hello to her dog Lola. It's a tour dog.
Sarah and Hannah, got Hannah approaching, as well as Holyn, and then we're looking at Sarah's putt here, just outside the circle.
To save par.
Right on the front of the cage. That had, great height and tempo, just a little bit short.
Rawnsley for birdie from 20. It's in.
Nicely done. I would consider that a long bounce back. Hannah staying on that par streak, just waiting for the clouds to break and waiting for those birdies to come.
Holyn Handley with a birdie.
And an easy one. Those always feel nice, especially on courses that are this tough. Feels like a little gift to have an easy birdie.
And Hokom with the first par. And believe it or not, there were only 2 birdies on this hole today in the entire FPO division. And you just saw them here.
Wow, that genuinely surprises me. But also not at the same time, considering the difficulty I had.
Here we are on hole 9, a 564-foot par 4. Off the tee, your drive needs to land somewhere about here, which will give you about 270 into the pin. If you have elite distance and accuracy, you can get around the corner, leaving yourself with a much shorter upshot. As long as you have a clean tee shot, you should be able to get up here and get a look at a birdie 3. I believe the second shot is the most difficult part of this hole. Holyn Handley up first with a nice low controlled shot. We've seen she has a lot of distance, but she didn't try anything greedy. She just wanted to land in a good position.
Which is interesting. I feel like this could potentially be an attainable shot for a far thrower, but I must not have those eyes.
She played the hole with a mid.
Interesting, because that was a conscious choice too. She says I am not, running the basket here.
Everyone landing in perfect position so far.
Nice. Looks like a slight misrelease from Sarah, but she gets a really favorable bounce that just kind of nullifies a little bit. She'll be approaching the pin.
Holyn has about 285 to get to the basket. It's high and it's hyzering, but she is down there. She's got a birdie look.
That's such a technical shot. That's a very, very flippy disc, and we see her throwing it on very steep hyzers, anticipating it to flip.
Hokom weaving her way through the woods like she does best, and she's up there putting for birdie as well.
Filleted the left side of that fairway, so pure. Well, this is up in the trees. It's got a good chance, though.
A lot of times I notice you've thrown your upshot, you've landed at the trees, you're like, yes, I'm up there. You walk up there and you've shorted it. You've really got to get past those trees to get a real putt in the circle.
The hole visually does read shorter than the footage would suggest.
Hannah would have been there, but she trickled some leaves on the way, so now she'll have to pitch up for par. Which is good, because she had a rough start, and a drop in par sounds like a great idea right now. Rawnsley for birdie. Oh, another taste of the chains.
I really liked the movement on that one. It had a great hyzer angle, and it looked like it was moving right towards the basket.
And I like that Stacie didn't look frustrated. She looked excited for that opportunity.
Yes.
Look at
Good
Holyn.
observation.
Good birdie from her. Nice long putt.
She doesn't need to rip something too long off of the tee. She knows how to use her distance as well as possible.
Oh.
Another cage shot for Sarah. They're looking so good and so nice, just lacking maybe that 2% of commitment potentially.
She needs a sip of coffee.
Yes, or maybe that boom sauce that Ellen Woodboom is carrying around in that jug.
Or some bag bacon.
Or some... I've never heard of that.
You don't carry bag bacon?
Oh gosh, no.
You've got to up your snack game.
Oh boy, I need the carbs and I need the protein and the fat.
It's just a delicious snack to have.
And packed with nutrients.
And after that incredible front 9 on the final day, let's check in and take a look how everyone's standing. Missy Gannon's still holding on to that first spot, and Holyn Handley has snuck into 3rd.
She's fighting that good fight out there, making some good putts and recovering where she needs to. Sarah's really putting together a smooth round though.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys tuning in with Cy and I on this final day coverage of the 2023 Discraft Ledgestone Open. If you'd like to support myself, you can head on over to pharmacbd.com and use code HOLLY for 20% off. Your support there helps support my tour.
And if you want to support my tour, you can catch me in person. I have a select run of some Tournament X Burst Bears with a custom stamp you can only get from me at the next events I'm playing on tour. You can follow me at Cy Parananda to see which events those are, and I look forward to seeing you out there. And thanks for the support.